You are standing at the edge of a great void, a blackness so deep that it seems to stretch infinitely in all directions. You feel its presence, not just before you, but inside you, as if it has always been there, waiting. Most people, when they reach this point, turn away. They distract themselves, seek comfort, pretend the abyss isn't real. But what if, instead of running, you held your ground? What if you did the one thing no one dares to do? What if you stared into the abyss and didn't blink? They say that to gaze into the abyss is to risk losing yourself. That the void has a way of staring back, whispering truths no one wants to hear. But what if those truths are exactly what you need? What if everything you've been told about fear, suffering, and meaning has been a lie? So the question is, are you ready to see what lies beyond the veil? The fear of the abyss is not just a fear of darkness, it is the terror of confronting the truth. Society, culture, even your own mind have conspired to keep you from looking too closely. From birth, you are handed a script. Follow the rules, chase success, seek happiness in external things. But what if this script is an illusion? Nietzsche warned us, he who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. But what if we misunderstood him? The abyss is not some external force seeking to consume you. The abyss is reality itself, the raw, unfiltered nature of existence, stripped of illusion. And the real danger is not in facing it, but in ignoring it. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, the repressed parts of the self that we refuse to acknowledge. The longer we suppress them, the more power they gain over us, manifesting as fear, anxiety, and self-destruction. Society teaches you to fear the darkness within, but Jung knew the truth. Integration is the only path to wholeness. Schopenhauer saw life as a relentless cycle of desire and suffering, a prison of the will. We chase pleasure, avoid pain, and call this existence. But what if the only way to break free is to stop running, to stand still, stare into the abyss, and accept it? The world is designed to keep you asleep. Your distractions, your ambitions, even your fears, they are chains. But what happens when you realize the cage door has been open all along? And more importantly, what happens when you step through? You live your life as if on a well-lit stage, surrounded by familiar props and comforting illusions. But what if the stage was merely a distraction, designed to keep you from seeing what lies beyond? The truth is, most people will never stare into the abyss, not because they can't, but because they refuse to. They sense, deep down, that something lurks beneath their carefully constructed reality, something unsettling, and so they turn away, distracting themselves with routines, entertainment, and the endless pursuit of status. But avoidance has a cost. The more you run from the abyss, the more power it has over you. You see it in the quiet, existential dread that creeps in at night, in the gnawing feeling that something is missing, in the way people drown themselves in work, in substances, in empty pleasures, all to silence a whisper they cannot quite hear. This is the hidden trap. By fearing the abyss, you become its prisoner. Psychologists call it existential anxiety, the deep unease that arises when you confront the fact that life has no inherent meaning. Instead of facing it, people seek artificial purpose, chasing careers they hate, accumulating wealth they can't enjoy, following ideologies that offer easy answers. Viktor Frankl argued that meaning must be created, not found. But how can you create meaning if you're too afraid to confront the void? And here lies the most insidious truth. The abyss already owns those who refuse to look at it. By ignoring it, they let it shape their fears, their decisions, their entire existence. But there is another way, one that few have dared to take. What if, instead of running, you stepped forward? What if you faced the void and didn't blink? Most people live as prisoners of invisible walls, trapped not by chains but by unquestioned beliefs, cultural conditioning, and the fear of uncertainty. But the few who break free do something radical. They stop running. They stop numbing themselves. They turn and face the abyss, knowing that whatever they find there will be the key to their liberation. Philosophers, mystics, and revolutionaries throughout history have all reached this crossroads. Friedrich Nietzsche stared into the abyss and saw that traditional morality was a cage, a construct designed to tame the wild spirit of man. Carl Jung delved into the unconscious and unearthed the shadows lurking beneath civilized behavior. Jean-Paul Sartre rejected prepackaged meaning and embraced the terrifying yet exhilarating responsibility of defining his own existence. And you, what will you do? Will you continue playing a role in a script written by someone else? Or will you tear off the mask and rewrite your own destiny? To break free, you must shatter the illusions that keep you docile. Question everything: the career path, the political ideologies, the pursuit of material success. Do these truly serve you, or are they merely distractions from something deeper? Sit with your fears. Look into the void and ask, what if everything I thought I knew was wrong? True freedom begins at the moment you stop fearing the abyss. The moment you step forward, you realize it was never an abyss at all. It was a mirror. And then something shifts. The abyss no longer feels like an endless void, but a reflection, one that has been staring back at you all along. You realize the great paradox. There was never anything to fear, because the darkness you dreaded was only the unexplored depths of your own mind. Society has trained you to seek comfort, to avoid the discomfort of unfiltered reality. But the truth is, the pain, the uncertainty, the existential dread, they were never your enemies. They were your invitations. The abyss was never meant to consume you. It was meant to awaken you. The final realization is this: there is no script but the one you write. Every belief, every rule, every structure you thought was set in stone is nothing more than a construct, an illusion upheld by collective agreement. The chains were never real. The doors were never locked. The moment you see this, the moment you stop waiting for permission to live on your own terms, you become untouchable. Most will never reach this point. They will turn away from the abyss, clinging to the comfort of illusion. But you did not blink. You faced it, and in doing so, you reclaimed the most valuable thing you could ever possess: yourself. Now, step forward. The world is yours to shape.